Boston pie. A fly can't bird, but a bird can fly.
Do the butt. All right, everybody. Hey, I got some excellent news. Check this out. Hopefully I put it in the right spot near my finger. So sorry again, I apologize in advance for this. Then once I hit the 1,000 subs, I'm going to turn on the monetization. Okay, but this is going to help us all out. But it started on it's a couple of days ago on the 9th. So after 2 days, I'm up to like 2.5 bones. Sweet, I can almost buy a cheap converter. But it'll grow. And so what I want to do is use that to go back into the channel to show you guys stuff. I got to thinking, why did I even do this in the first place? I started this as just, I guess, for something to do when there was nothing to do. Everything shut down. Was August 2nd of 2020. There's nothing to do, shutdowns, things are born. So let's just start doing videos about fountain pens. But then after I did a few reviews and I did sort of the standard procedure and blah, 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 I started thinking more about what I can maybe do that's different to help out people when it comes to fountain pens. So whether it's a brand new Grail pen that you get or a new ink that you thought would look fantastic, I don't know, maybe it's just I'm biased, which we all are, no matter who you are, we're all biased, but I'm just thinking it kind of feels like fountain pen folks are potentially one of the most disappointed consumer groups that are out there. You watch all the reviews you can find and do all your due diligence, like way beyond what the average consumer does, and you just do everything to go, okay, I'm going to send someone my money and get this thing back, and I'm expecting it to be great. And it's alarming how often that doesn't happen. I mean, we even keep encyclopedias of reference guides so that when we try to find a new ink to buy, we can go back to previous ones and go, does it look like this one? Or is it more like this one on page 85 of all your inks? And you're going through and then we get the ink and it looks nothing like we saw on the website or the video. I did a review all about that concept. It just seems no matter what we do, there's always an issue. So I got to thinking. I was thinking about what do I want to do with my pen channel, and I really thought if there's any way I can help folks who are going out there and spending their hard-earned money, whether it's on a brand new pen or a new ink, I want to help you in any way I can to fulfill the expectation you have when you make that purchase. So you just spent some money or thinking of buying a new pen, and the worst possible thing is you're disappointed. Whether it's the ink or the new pen, it sucks, especially if it's expensive. So I was thinking, the motto for the channel, what I'd really like to help you with is no bad pens. Just like the t-shirt, the bumper sticker that says no bad days, there should be no bad pens. Case in point, this guy, expensive pen, Mont Blanc 149, this, Grail pen for many folks. I got a sweet deal on it. That was awesome. I played the waiting game on auctions and got the pen. I was pretty disappointed right away. Great condition, but the nib sucked. It just wrote terribly. And the one thing this pen should do, look at this big, beautiful nib. It should write. Do the one thing it was designed to do. It didn't do it. Did a terrible job. So that sucked. And so that's when I took it upon myself to go, well, that wasn't the first time that I had a bad pen, and it's probably not going to be the last. So let's figure out how to turn this around and no longer have bad pens. So no bad pens, I say. If I can help you with that, that's my kind of main objective, because I hate that just as much as you do. And I think we deal with that more often than the average consumer. Not that we're special, but I don't think that's very often you get constantly bad shoes. You at least get to try them on and all this stuff before you buy them, or whatever other hobbies people have. Yes, it doesn't turn out how you hoped, but I think it happens just way too much with fountain pens. So anything I can do to help with that, that's what I'm here for. So what are we doing today? This guy, the Noodlers, the Ahab. Everyone gets one because they think you can have amazing flex for no money. And I don't know, there's ones out there that work just fine, apparently. But I think it's kind of a unicorn situation. So if you got one like I do, you can check my review. It's one of my early videos. But that's all right. The pen still operates the same way. You barely get any flex without constant railroading. And apparently you got to tinker the hell out of this thing. So let's do some tinkering. Like, I don't care at this point. I hear people cut the feet out. So we're going to try some stuff with this and see what we can do. And maybe if you're having the same problems I am, we'll figure this out together. Kind of feels like I'm roasting a hot dog here. So this is the stock feed. It's ebonite. That's good. That helps with ink flow. It's got a decent sized groove. Then I got to thinking, okay, well, I do have other ebonite feeds in other pens, and they flow wonderfully. What do those feeds look like? So I know my Kiwi pens, that thing is super juicy. And this is a spare feed that came with a Ranga pen I just got. And so, the feed's longer. I don't think that's a massive deal. But let's compare the two. So one, it's cut back. Now that really doesn't affect things, but on the Noodlers, that's a pet peeve. I'm going to do this while we're doing it. You'll be writing along, and I don't know, you just move your hand the wrong way, and bunk, the bottom heel here smudges, and you just finish drawing it all out perfectly, and you ruined it with a smudge. So I do want to pull that back. But like, the channels don't seem massively different. Like, this one is a bit wider, so I will open that up. But the biggest thing I saw is the fins. So this has more smaller fins. This has fewer bigger fins, but I'm guessing just by the looks of it is if you add up, say, the surface area, the amount of ink, like the volume that these fins could hold versus all these small ones, I'm pretty confident in saying this can hold more ink than this one. So I think that's the other thing I'm going to do to this is do some sawing action and get fewer but bigger fins going on with this feed here. Now I know you might be thinking, oh, Doodlebud, stop! Before you start all this hacking, you just gotta heat set the nib and the feed. I did all that already. Didn't do anything. Didn't help at all. So I am done playing games. We're going to get this thing to work, or I'm going to drive down the highway and chuck it out the window. With ebonite, so I just thought I'd show you really quick. So it's there's a lot of dust, so working with it kind of reminds me a little bit. I used to do some carbon fiber work, sort of like that, not as strong and not as sharp, but a little bit fiberglassy as well. If you ever put insulation, it always feels like your hands are kind of itchy afterwards. I sort of get that sensation. You can see all those fibers there. So yeah, never worked with it before, didn't know anything about the material, especially as far as cutting it. Just thought I'd show you that real quick. So, not my finest work, okay? Proof of concept. But I went at it with the knife a bit there, but I found the file was better for opening up that groove. And then just hacked at it with the blade there to make the fins more finny. I'm not putting much care into this. This is, like I said, I'm going to fix it, and then maybe I'll do a better job later when I'm not doing it through a camera or I'm chucking it out the window of my car on the highway. I also got rid of that bump. So let's, I'm going to clean this, put it back in the pen. Let's see how we do. So here we go. Moment of truth. Here it is. Shaved down, hacked up. That looks really wet. It's very saturated. I just filled it, of course. So much damage done to that feed. Today we got the Robert Oster green olive. So I know the deal. You've just freshly inked a pen and it's going to write lovely for a while. So I'll just try it out now and then get out the Kleenex. I'll really dab it, try to dry it a lot, and then do a ton of writing. And then I'll check in here to see if it starts skipping or just what. So here we go. So Noodlers. This is the Ahab, and it's supposed to be flexy. And now this is with chopped up. Whoa! Whoa! Feed. Okay. Let's adjust. Okay, we got flow. So those of you playing at home, what you might want to do first is open up the top groove a little bit, and then that should be good enough. Let's play some more. Let me just dab off this. Maybe I didn't dry it off enough, but I think I might have hooped it. Let's see what happens. It fixed the flow problem. Did I overdo it? I think so. I think that it's still wet. Is this still wet? Holy shit. So, okay. So let's back this up a little bit. I would just open up the slit. I think that's good enough, and maybe not as much as I did. I use this little small, you get these El Cheapo sets. I mean, look at the terrible build quality. Just garbage. They probably just like stamp that pattern into it. Anyhow, so these are garbage. They're super cheap. Any little, again, in my area, we call it Princess Auto. If you're in the States, it's Harbor Freight. Everyone's got the cheap little tool place you can get stuff from. I did that just to open up the feed, or maybe you just got to use the X-Acto a little bit. I would start with that, try that first before you go hog wild, because okay. It does not run out. I think we fixed that ink starvation problem very well. This thing just keeps going. So I don't really know what we accomplished there. Was it good or bad? Let's have a quick look. You can just see how wet that sucker is. I think I went a little overboard. Swerved a little too far to the right. Overcorrected. But as I said at the very start, what did I say? No bad pens. I am pushing on this sucker. So, is it better now? Well, it doesn't starve, so I take that as a win. No longer a bad pen. Yeah, I overcorrected a bit, but at least it writes. I'd rather have, well, who knows, but we got ink. We don't have ink starvation, so take that as a win. Hope that helps some of you if you're thinking of doing this. Like I said, just don't hit the nitrous like I did so fast, and you won't blow your pen up. There you go. No more bad pens. Catch you later.